Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. It is Tuesday, August 5th, and I'm going to jump right into it. So, many of you I know saw the video I put up yesterday, which stirred the pot a little with some people. And basically what I was talking about is the fact that a private organization or a private group of citizens held a meeting in the basement at St. Stephen's Church. 6 city councilors attended that meeting. 6 sitting city councilors attended that meeting discussing city issues and alternatives to the upcoming camping ban ordinance that they will be voting on next week. And I said that appears to be in violation of the open meeting laws. I believe it is. So I'm going to read a couple things for you. And this has nothing to do with the organization itself. That is the part that I don't know how people didn't understand what I was saying. They also wanted to argue a few people wanted to argue that they invited anyone in the public to go. Yes, I'm sure they did. Inviting the public and saying the public is welcome to this meeting and a public meeting are two entirely different things. And I'm just going to give you a definition of what is from the Attorney General's website of why I feel that this was in violation of it. So, and this is from the state of Massachusetts website. The open meeting law defines a quorum as a simple majority of the members of a public body, unless otherwise provided in a general or special law, executive order, or other authorizing provision. If a quorum of a public body wants to discuss public business within that body's jurisdiction, they must do so during a properly posted meeting. Now, what defines a quorum, as it says, is a simple majority, meaning our city council is an 11-member council. 6 of those is a majority. That's a simple majority. 6 city councilors went to this meeting discussing city business or city affairs within their jurisdiction. You cannot do that. And unless I'm misinterpreting this, which we'll find out. So what kind of upset me is one of the city councilors. So what triggered this, I was looking at the local pub paper's social media site. And I saw on there that one of our councilors, our Ward 7 councilor, Rhonda Sear, posted, "There was a very good meeting between both sides last night. There is hope for a solution." Now, again, this is referring to the meeting that Homes Not Handcuffs put together. This is the same organization that has a petition circulating, asking people to sign in opposition to the proposed ordinance for the camping ban. They, I believe, are holding a rally tonight. It was last night or tonight, a rally asking people to attend in opposition of the camping ban. That's, I believe, what the whole Homes Not Handcuffs premise is, based right in the name. They believe that this camping ban ordinance, it criminalizes homelessness. Okay? So, I mean, I don't think I'm imagining that. We can split hairs. Some people are saying, no, we didn't discuss that at all. So the organization that was founded to oppose the camping ban didn't discuss anything to do with the camping ban or alternatives or any issues within the city with 6 city councilors. I'm sorry. But by definition, that's what that appears. Now, when Rhonda Sear posted, "There was a very good meeting between both sides last night. There is hope for a solution," I commented under hers, "Both sides? I'm curious who the spokespeople are for these 2 sides. I'm glad you had a meeting. I'm assuming this was in compliance with the open meeting laws and the general public was properly notified of said meeting. I asked, were there more than 3 current city councilors and elected officials at this meeting?" Now, when I originally posted that, it was before I did the video. And I don't know where the 3 councilor thing comes from. I don't know if that's a city thing. From what I understand, it can't be a simple majority, which would be 6, which it was. So that's what I posted. Now, she responded, Hi, Mike. You brought out a good point. Yes, we have to be aware of open meeting law, but this was a community-sponsored event that was open to the public and included a good amount of people on both sides of the issue. So yes, it was done right and it was productive. Okay? Now, I responded, and I don't feel ever was I disrespectful. I responded to her, and this is Rhonda Sear, the Ward 7 city councilor. I put, I'm not sure what you mean by community-sponsored event. Are you saying the city was involved in this and it adhered to the proper notification system in place for public meetings? That it was also accessible to those who could not attend in person? Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were saying this quorum was in compliance with the open meeting laws? And she responded, not what I said. It was a gathering of the group, homes, not handcuffs. It was very constructive, and I am grateful for their initiative. Sorry you couldn't be there. If you would like to know when their next community meeting is being held, reach out to someone on their leadership team, and then tagged the individuals in this group. I'm sure they would be thankful for the additional interest. And I responded, Rhonda, you really need to look at the open meeting laws, and it was in complete violation of that. The law is the law, and it needs to be adhered to regardless of intent. And that's how I feel, okay? Her response as a city councilor was, feel free to call the attorney general. The energy and passion you show on Facebook would be very helpful to your neighbors working on issues like homelessness, poverty, hunger, jobs, the economy. I invite you to get involved. Good day, sir. After she tagged these other individuals, who then they started responding to me. So as a city councilor, and it doesn't surprise me, well, for one, with her saying, I encourage you to get involved, obviously, whatever, but I'm not going to sit here and whatever, but I'm sure there's quite a few local organizations, charities, business owners that could come forward and say, maybe I've done a few things for them. But we'll leave it at that. If somebody wants to comment and speak up, feel free. If not, I understand because of the topic. But I thought that was very insulting. But again, she doesn't have, in my opinion, the proper etiquette to be a city councilor. She really doesn't. I mean, like the last meeting, the ordinance and rules meeting, she showed up late again. And then twice had to be stopped by the chair for engaging with the audience. And she was given a final warning. And I think the final warning was, if you do it again, we're going to take a recess and have to go in the back and have a discussion before we proceed. Something to that effect. And that was the chair, Dina Lampiazzi, our Ward 6 counselor. So it doesn't surprise me. Her decorum, as far as from the dais, is kind of equivalent to this. And I think, also she doesn't understand the proper protocol for this. What she should have done, instead of saying call the attorney general and then insult me, was say something maybe along the lines of, I understand you have some concerns. You can contact the city clerk at this number, and I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help you. Could have been that simple, something just like that, because the proper procedure, if you feel an open meeting law was violated, is you have to go through the city clerk in the municipality you live in. You can download the form from the Attorney General's site, but you fill that out and you give it to your city clerk. Then the city clerk has 14 days to respond to that. If you are unsatisfied with that decision, then you can go through the Attorney General, and they have 30 days to respond to that. But it doesn't surprise me that she didn't know that, because it seems like as far as basic etiquette as a counselor, she doesn't know. But I completely understand. I think one of the best decisions she has made as a counselor is acknowledging the fact that it's probably not for her and deciding not to run for re-election. So that I applaud her for. At least she's being honest with that. But the way she handled that, tagging other individuals in the community, trying to instigate, was very unprofessional. And the insulting part, as just a resident, insult me all day long. I asked you a question as a city councilor and was never rude or out of line to you. And your response could have been as simple as, if I have concerns, to direct me in the proper channels to address that, which would be through Michelle Benjamin or the city clerk's office to file an actual complaint that I believe an open meeting law was violated. And I do believe that. And because of Counselor Sear, I'm going to follow through with that. And not just because of her. I mean, laws are laws. Rules are rules. Just because the topic is sensitive that we're talking about, doesn't mean you negate any rules, because if you do for one, then who's the next organization to do it and the next organization to do it? How would people like it if it was real estate developers coming into the community and something similar where they held a meeting? And look, if you have a majority of the voting body on the city council going to a meeting within their jurisdiction discussing city issues, that is in violation of the open meeting law. And if I'm wrong, then I will be corrected. But I'm not the only one who feels that that was inappropriate. And again, just because you invite the public, that's not a public meeting. Anybody can hold an event and invite the general public. Are they all going to know? What's the notification system you used? What is the capacity at the event? How many people can you have there? I mean, all those things have to be taken into consideration. And this has nothing to do with the actual organization itself or the topic. It has to do, the onus is on the city councilors, period. They know that they cannot attend events discussing city issues as a quorum, meaning 6 or more of them. You can't do that within your own jurisdiction. You can't do that. That's in violation, and you have to be careful with that. I remember one time I was doing interviews at the It's Pittsfield Tonight studio when I was downtown near Park Square, and I was interviewing the city council president, Pete White, later that day, and I think another city councilor during the day. There was a few that came in and out on one day. And Councilor White called me and said, "Hey, Mike, I got out of my last meeting a little bit early. Is it okay if I stop by now since I'm right here and we can do the interview?" And I said, "Sure." This was in text. I said, "Sure, I have a city councilor leaving right now." He called me first before he got there and said, "Is there any other councilors there? I just want to make sure, because if there's 3 of us or more, if somebody takes a picture of us coming out of It's Pittsfield Tonight office, that could be bad because of the open meeting laws. We're not, and technically you'd be talking about what we're doing as city councilors, so that could be in violation." I mean, the law is the law, and it has to apply to everyone. I don't think there was evil intent or somebody intentionally doing something wrong here, but they screwed up. You can't do what they did, regardless of the intent or trying to diffuse the situation or the subject matter. You cannot have a majority of the city council attend a private meeting discussing city issues with a quorum when there's 6 or more of them. You cannot do that. And it seems pretty clear to me. And if I'm wrong, then I'll be corrected. I'm sure our city clerk can explain to me. And if I'm not satisfied with that, I'm sure the Attorney General's office can. So hopefully that explains everything that I was trying to say. And to the people who just want to be negative about it, I'm sorry, but the law is the law, and nobody should be above the law. Every law should be equally applied to everyone, or else the law has zero value whatsoever. If you make an exception for one thing, regardless of what that exception is, then you have to throw the whole thing out. It's not valid. If you do for one, you have to do for all. Period. There should never be favoritism, regardless of intent or subject matter. So that is it for now. Councilor Sear, feel free to reach out to me at any time. I'd be more than happy to have a discussion with you. Privately, though, not to be tagged or you try to humiliate me in front of other people. That was completely unprofessional. So if it wasn't meant that way, I'm sure you can explain that to me in a message. So again, that is it for now. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, get involved, pay attention, and I'll catch you all in the next day or two.